What up, Coach Madonna? I'm Daniel Shaughnessy, and we are with Coach Jason Madonna, head football coach for the Shawnee Wolves. Coach Madonna, man, take us through Thursday night. I'll try to unmute you.
Yeah, yeah. Some people may want you to keep it muted. No, just tough loss down in Durant. Um, Played really hard, man. I'm really proud of the way our kids are playing right now, and I know it's not coming to fruition week in and week out, but just the effort and the just the way that they're hanging in there, the way that they're fighting, just makes me proud as a coach. Now, obviously, we didn't get the win, and there's a lot of things that factor into that. We're not in the business of making excuses. We have to execute better. But one thing I'm proud of, and after you lose, you take a lot of time to reflect, and just the progression that we've made. Yes, we lost, but if you look at our losses this year, we had an opportunity in every single one of those ball games for us to win, and that's a blessing in itself. There's programs out there, and we've experienced it in the past, even last year. Our 5 losses last year were decisive losses. You could arguably say maybe we were in the Dell City game for a while if we make a play here or there, but Booker T jumped on us early, Putnam City North jumped on us early. Um, Bishop Kelly jumped on us early. McAllister was the one game where it was kind of close, and we can go. And then this year, we've battled in every single game, so you can see like the progression. And then now we got to get to the point where it pays off. But as far as Thursday night goes, um, red zone, red zone offense is probably the one thing that glares out as like the biggest thing we need to improve on. Starting with the first drive of the game. The first drive of the game, we get down in there and it ends up being 4th and 2. And we think they're going to load the box. We try a free access throw in the hitch to the single receiver, but the way they aligned, quarterback didn't like it, tried to come down to the field. Pressure ended up forcing us to roll out. We ended up not getting it. Later on, we get a punt from them, and we go down and we're getting ready to score, and we fumble it, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. And then after Travion's interception, we go down and we get in a third down situation, and we throw a ball in some tight coverage, and we just don't get it up over the linebacker enough, and linebacker makes a good play on the interception. So in the first half, look at minimum 9 points. If we make all 3 field goals, but you would like to score some touchdowns in there. So now instead of going in the half 7-2, you're going in the half 14-2, maybe 21-2. And that kind of changes the way the second half goes. We were able to get another touchdown early in the second half when Riley Story broke that long run. And you got to give credit to Durant, man. They just kept fighting. They hit us on the big pass play that led to their touchdown later on. And then, the last drive of the game, they get the ball back with 5 minutes. They need the touchdown. They drive it down the field. What stinks is that their touchdown run was on 2nd and 20. So that's something that stings for us a little bit. We make a tackle there. It's 3rd and 15. And now it puts them in a situation where it makes it a little harder for them. They have to go for it on downs. And in that first play of that drive, they fumble it, and it just rolls right to them. So it's kind of one of those deals where the breaks just went their way. But we had a lot of positive moments from Riley Story in the heavy package with 2 touchdowns. Ben Falcone with the big time field goal to put us in the lead in the fourth quarter, or take back the lead, excuse me. And so just a lot of positives. Obviously, the big negative is we lost a district game, and so now we got to reload and refocus, and get ready for a Tulsa Edison team that played Durant to 14-8. So it's not like it's just a terrible team coming into town. There's a lot of distractions, from football, but a lot of positive things with homecoming going on and things like that. So we're going to have to really dial in and focus and take it one practice at a time, but continue to improve and go put together a good showing Friday night versus Edison.
Well, Tate McClendon put up good yardage again. We've come accustomed to seeing Tate. You might get stopped on a few of them there at the line, usually picking up 1, 2 right in there. But man, he breaks them for long ones. Coach, talk a little bit about your senior Tate McClendon.
Yeah, absolutely, man. When he gets able to really open it up in open space, he chews up a lot of yards in a hurry. and he's exciting to watch because I think he can take it just about any time. And we knew going into this game with some other guys out that he would be a big focal point for us, and he did a really good job with the opportunities that he had. Obviously he wishes he could take back that run in the red zone where they ends up. It's just a good play by the defender, but and he's the guy that'll wear that and continue to get better. But I thought he played well. Um, you know, he did a lot of other things well. He blocked well. He did well in pass protection, and so he's a walking 100-yard game just about.
He
And
is, man.
yeah,
He's been quite an addition. He's fun to watch, just like Dietrich was last year.
yeah.
One thing we struggled on tonight or on Thursday night, I noticed, was third downs. We didn't do real well on third downs. What's the cause of that, and how do we fix that moving forward?
Yeah, we weren't as productive as we would like to be, and some of that's situational, some of it's play call, some of it's execution. Um, but one, we need to stay out of third and long situations, and two, we need to execute better, um, getting those and converting those in elongating drives. I thought. Offensively, I thought we did a pretty good job of not having just like the immediate three and outs. I think we had one, um, but again, we had a third and short and didn't convert in the mid right right around midfield, and so um, you know we're going to do a lot of self scouting and kind of figure out what other teams are seeing and what our tendencies are, so that we can better prepare to execute at a higher level. Um, in that realm. And then, defensively, same thing, just making sure that we're assignment sound and we're securing tackles at the point of attack and not allowing them to elongate drives, which I feel like our defensive unit played played outstanding, forcing turnovers and doing what they needed to do. And I got to give a lot of credit to Durant for just kind of figuring out the puzzle and just making those plays late in the game and putting together those scoring drives to eventually take the win. And that's a team that's got 20 seniors on it. They do, and they've been through the throes of it last season, and so we're kind of that younger group that's coming, and there's a lot of positivity going on. We got to make those corrections, and we got to get that stuff fixed.
Yeah, what really happened there on those last 3 drives, coach? From a defensive standpoint, we had them pretty much stopped with every drive. Did you see something shift, or did they do something different, on those last few drives that we might not have noticed from the stands?
I think they just, they felt the momentum, and their guys stepped up and made plays. We were able to kind of cause them problems in the backfield and not let them get going downhill. And then later on in those drives, they kind of go. But even like the last touchdown run that they had, we got guys there in position to make plays that just didn't, and it was 2nd and 20. And
Mhm.
so you just got to give credit to them. Sometimes they make plays. Sometimes the other team makes plays, and we had opportunities to make plays in those situations. Their first touchdown of the game, our quarterback contained player got lost, got sucked down in, and their quarterback got loose around the edge. And then, the big vertical shot that they took was just a little where they pump faked the screen and we're in man coverage, and the guy who was supposed to be on his man was a little over aggressive to make the play on the screen, and they got behind us, and it was a beautiful play by Jaden Hunt to chase him down to prevent it from being a long touchdown. Um, so you get they're late in the fourth quarter. You got to give them credit. They executed properly and they took advantage. And even the drive before that, they have a fourth down. They run a reverse. I think they were going to try to reverse pass it, and we hit them right there at the sticks. Unfortunately, they got a pretty good spot, in my opinion. But and we possibly could be off the field right there if we just hit them a half a yard sooner. And so they made plays. I don't think they did anything just schematically different, other than they executed a little bit better down the stretch than we did.
Talk about your quarterback, Tal stepping in again as the starter. He's getting to be a regular back there. He the even that last drive for a sophomore, man, he delivered a couple of really good balls. just unable to handle him. Talk a little bit about Tal and his progress that you've seen through the year.
Yeah, super, very proud of him, man. There's a big night and day difference between the dunking game and this one. I know the stats. We threw the ball more laterally in the dunking game, just based on what defense they were giving us, and so this game they played a little bit more too high, and they played a little cover two shell. So, um, but early on in the game, man, he did a good job putting some balls in some good spots. He made the one mistake down in the red zone, which he just threw it just a tad bit late, maybe not quite high enough. But um, he did a good job of managing the game and making sure that we're lined up and we snapped the ball on time. And um, so I was very proud of his effort. I think you can really see his growth and his development from Duncan to Durant. And, he comes in with a minute 52 and we got to go on a 2-minute drive and he gets us a first down. And then, we take our shot. In those situations, you're not going to get a lot of them. You're going to get about one opportunity to really get behind the defense before they make a adjustment, and that's what happened on that first down play. Man, he put a beautiful ball onto Ramel on our post route, and he took an absolute shot. When you're watching it from the end zone camera, his body physically moved about 5 yards laterally after he threw it. Just stood in there, took the shot, put a beautiful ball on, and Ramel just couldn't grab it. But 9 times out of 10, he snags that ball, and we're down there getting ready to go score and win the football game. And then after that, they kind of backed up and played coverage, and and so they end up getting the sack on fourth down. But you got to give him a lot of credit for stepping up in that moment and trying to lead us down the field. Unfortunately, we just didn't make the plays necessary for him to pay it off. But I thought he did a good job all night, getting us in and out. And we tried to take some of the pressure off of him being a sophomore starter in the district game where we ran some wildcat. Saw Garrett McCurdy step up back there and do a really good job running the football and handing the ball off to keep him honest in that position. And so, like I said, proud of the guys. We had a couple guys go down throughout the course of the game and guys having to switch positions there towards the end of the game. Caden Bramlage was snapping the football, and so we try to get through it, had our chances and didn't capitalize.
What about Trey Barber? Another good outing for your senior outside linebacker.
He did, man. He had that big time interception, and I thought he was going to break it. I really did, and he was all over the field making plays, which we've come accustomed to, and you almost don't want to take it for granted when you're talking about these special seniors in their play, man, because the season goes by so fast. But
Mhm.
I just really appreciate the effort that he gives week in and week out, and his ability to just make plays consistently, and so super bright future for that young man, and just the way that he's really bought into what we're trying to do here, and the way that he just day in and day out as a leader for us, just making plays, and so very proud of that young man. Another great effort, and we've come to expect that from him, and his playmaking ability on the defense side of the ball.
Well, another sophomore stepping in. You're talking about players who have to step up, especially when injuries occur. And Ben Falcon sure stepped up, hit a close to a 40-yarder, if not 40, all of it. There with, in a really tough situation. That was good to see from the junior kicker.
Yeah, it was, man. He's a super talented young man. He's just coming back from injury, and so and not only, I mean, he did. That was a huge moment for him to step in and knock that thing in. Because what you may not have realized from the broadcast is that's a college stadium, so the goalposts are narrower than
Oh, wow.
stadium. So that made it even harder to kick that field goal. And he knocked that thing through and super excited, gave us the momentum. Then the work he did on kickoff, man, he really limited their returns with the height that he put on the ball and the placement that he put. So he did a fantastic job Thursday night, just helping our kickoff unit, and then obviously what he did with the field goal, putting us in position to to have an opportunity to win the football game late. And so, huge credit to that young man.
Well, another one, underclassman who really seems to be catching his stride again. He was slowed down a little bit, but Cade McKee, he was all over it in the first half. Not sure so much in the second, but I haven't seen the tackling stats. I'm not sure where he was, but he was probably up there against Durant.
Yeah, he was. You know, we're still statting it. With the breaking down the film as we're working today. But yeah, he's just man, he's an absolute machine, and using his athletic ability to get sideline to sideline, and I know he frustrates the opposing offense a lot because when you're watching it, you think that this kid's about to break, and then boom, here comes 44 making the play, and so. He's a kid that absolutely loves football and gives everything he has to the development of his craft, and so to see it pay off for him now um, is pretty cool. And he wants to win as much as anybody, and he's going to do everything he can to help put us in position to win those games. And so got twisted up there for a little bit, came off for just a couple plays and shook it off, and was right back out there being productive again. So he's a bright star in the future of this program.
So tell us a little bit about this week to wrap it up, Coach. We've got homecoming coming up. Is that a distraction? How do you guys work through it a little bit differently this week? What do fans have to look forward to on Friday night against Edison?
Yeah, so it we use the word distraction, but we more so do that in preventative measures to not let it be a distraction. But it's pretty cool. It's a part of being high school football, man. It's the homecoming. Hopefully, every alumni within driving range comes back and they see the what's going on with the stadium and with the upgrades and everything, and just the effort that these kids are playing for. I really feel like I'm biased because I'm their coach, but I really feel like if I was a fan or alumni, I would love the way that this team suits up and plays hard throughout the entire game, win, lose, or draw. And so I'm really appreciative of these kids. But so then we got the community pep rally Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. Everybody's invited. We're going to highlight the fall sports, kind of show them off, and then I think there's going to be some performances from the band Cheer and Palm, as well as some skits that from different clubs and organizations. But that's 6 o'clock at Jim Thorpe Stadium on Tuesday night. So I would encourage everybody to come out and just appreciate and give a round of applause to all the fall athletes here at Shawnee that have been doing a wonderful job. And then the game, obviously Friday night. Expect another hard nosed football game. I mean, Edison last week they or 2 weeks ago they played Durant to a 14-8 ball game. They have talent all over the place. They're well coached. Their coach Kip Shaw has been a college offensive coordinator. He's been a head coach for a long time, and those guys are disciplined and they're playing hard. They haven't won as many games as they would probably like, but they have our full attention, and we're going to make sure that we give our best effort and come away with a district victory so that we can continue to try to obtain our goals of playing past week 10. But we put ourselves in a little bit of a hole Thursday night, and now we got to dig our way out of it. And that's the beautiful part about being involved in this game is the challenge. It's a great opportunity to learn life lessons, and sometimes your plans are going to fail, and you got to learn how to adjust and restructure and continue to work hard. So, and that's what we're going through right now. And so we'll continue to learn those lessons and continue to get better and go give a great performance Friday night versus the Edison Eagles.
So Friday night we have Edison coming in. It's 6 p.m. The public's welcome at Jim Thorpe Stadium.
Tuesday night. Yep, Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Our community pep rally, cheer, palm, band, all your fall athletes will be there, and it's going to be a fun evening. So I would encourage anybody around that has anything to do with Shawnee High School or to come on out, and community members come on out and just see what these kids, because I really believe athletics is the front porch to your community. When we go travel places and people see the fan presence and they see the effort and the performance of the athletes, and that's a direct reflection on the community. And so I think the community has a lot to be proud of, not just with football, but softball and volleyball and cross country and just the great things that are going on here. And so be a great opportunity to come celebrate those fall sport athletes.
And I would think that that would be free of charge. The gates probably just open to the community. Bring the kids out, have a good time on Tuesday night, and then football Friday back to Jim Thorpe Stadium. Looking forward to that. As always, Coach Madonna, thank you for coming on with us on Sunday afternoons. We certainly appreciate you taking the time away from your coaches because I know you're in that locker room preparing for next week.
Yes, sir, we are. We'll be ready. I promise you that.
All right. Well, we'll be there with you. Thanks again. Everybody, remember, together we build community, one season at a time.
Go Wolves.